Who's calling?
What?
Who's calling?
I'm not even going to dignify that.
Is that better?
No, it's
No,
way
that's
worse.
worse.
Now you look like in the dark. You look like you're Cancer Man. Don't do that. That smile doesn't help at all either.
You look really.
They should get a Roomba that's like really low energy, but just gets rid of cobwebs.
That'd be awesome.
Like something you
But
could
it would
put
have
in
to be
there,
able to like crawl on the ceiling.
or it could just be a Roomba with like
I was just thinking that exact same thing, actually. Just waving.
like a very
It's like a wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man, but in Roomba format.
What would you use? Like wires?
I just want it to scream as it does it.
The Wild West.
Could use sound.
Yeah, it would be the best. But how funny would it be? It's like, oh, he's going.
Yeah,
and then all you just hear from underneath your crawl space.
The
Will Smith movie, Wild West.
Yeah,
You remember the giant walking
spider? Yeah,
Picturing that like on your roof.
Yeah,
vacuuming up the cobwebs.
I like it. Sounds not terrible at all.
If you had to like invent a robot vacuum, would you immediately go to the design of the Roomba? If the Roomba you hadn't known about the Roomba yet, like no one had invented it yet, and someone was like, here's $1 billion, design a really sellable like vacuum cleaner, robot vacuum, would you go to that design?
I don't think I would go circular. No, I would build a rectangle.
I don't know. The problem is at that point, if you said to build a robotic vacuum, I wouldn't have a fucking clue what you meant.
Yeah, like I feel like mine might be taller. Like I'd probably have like some kind of like feet.
Taller is worse because then you want it to be small.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying that's what I'd probably go to. That's what I'd probably be thinking about. I'd be like, yeah, robot.
I mean, they can just shoot fucking hoses out to vacuum underneath things, but they literally just went.
You just like
Charlie, that's my feet.
It comes with a caution sign. Like they don't have. It's just you can't be in the room. Like
you have to leave the house.
Yeah, you probably should keep an
eye
it
on it. Could kill you. There's a good chance it will kill you or your pets. So just remove them from the scenario.
Yeah.
It's just like locking on and just fucking murdering cats and shit. Like, oh god, this is a design flaw.
It just thinks everything's a dust bunny. Just tries to fucking kill everything.
Okay. What is this, episode 3?
That's correct, yeah.
Episode number.
Wait, 4th episode?
4th episode, but 3rd episode number, because technically speaking, we had session 0.
It's gonna fuck me up forever.
Why? Just think we did episode 2 last week, so it's episode 3 this week.
It's confusing as hell.
Or well, 2 weeks ago, because
when
someone
we're on
fucked
like
up the recording.
Episode
but hey,
100, we're really gonna be on episode 101.
Well, no, because session 0 was not an episode. It was like a prequel. Doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're on episode 3, but it's the 3rd episode.
It's our
or the 4th.
The 4th
it's
YouTube
our 4th,
video.
It's our 4th YouTube video, but our 3rd episode.
Session.
No sessions.
No sessions.
There was just session 0. Intro time. I'm Tyler.
I'm Charlie.
This is Carl.
And this is Occasional Insight, episode number 3.
The 4th.
Nailed
episode.
It. The 4th video. The 3rd episode.
Oh my god! Damn you!
The 4th one.
You get a fucking 4th you one.
So episode 0 was not an episode. What was it?
It wasn't. It was session 0. Jesus Christ! It was a setup.
So we've had 4 sessions.
No.
Session
0 is a D&D reference
for 4 recordings
before you actually start doing it.
There. Charlie didn't hear you because he was talking over you.
That's all. Session 0 is a D&D reference for prepping for something before you actually do it. So like you sit down together, you build out your campaign, you talk about like, okay, these are our house rules, this is what my character's doing, this is the backstory, that kind of stuff. So that was like what kind of podcast do you want to do? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. That kind of thing. And
There's a
then
practice.
episode 1, exactly. It's practice. That's perfect. That's an
There's a
excellent way
practice
of
one.
putting it. Yeah, it's a
So
practice
we've
run. We just
so we're
published
on
it, so we're
practice.
willing to fail publicly.
I kind of think we're failing right now.
That's okay.
Again, part and parcel, man.
Yeah, exactly. What are you good at? Like, do you have a talent? This is your one thing that like you excel at above all else.
Oh, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't think that I can't think of a specific thing that I would call a talent.
Mm.
I feel like I'm more of a jack of all trades, but a master of none type of person. I
Yeah.
spend enough time on any given thing to get proficient. Well, as proficient as I want to get at it, and then usually I don't want to say I lose interest because I still have an interest in them, but it's not enough to, you know what I mean, keep me coming back, or doesn't give me enough of a dopamine hit, I guess, to commit to pushing beyond that part of I can do that. I'm just not, I don't excel at it.
If you have to pick one thing, what would you pick? Like that you're just good at? It's like right off the top of your head.
Probably better at streaming.
Mm.
All right.
I
Or
mean, for
entertaining.
you, I would go with teaching, personally.
Oh, you think I'm bad at teaching? That's fucking rude.
No, I think you're good. I think teaching is your talent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're
I
good
was
at
like, what the fuck? I totally misread
Yeah.
that one.
Like,
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
you have a. This is funny. You have a way of putting things into words that I'm struggling to articulate that you are good at articulating. I don't know. You can find a way to make someone that doesn't understand a topic understand the topic by putting it in terms that they have reference to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are extremely good at that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Well, I changed my answer. Teaching.
What about you, Charlie?
Oh shit. I guess I'm good at. Fuck, eh? I guess I'm good at like being mildly informative about a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm saying the
I feel
same
like
thing that
that.
you. It's
Yeah,
the
I feel
same
like
thing.
that's you saying you're
Fuck.
jack of all trades.
Yeah, it's the same exact shit. Okay. Well, I play the guitar,
Mm.
so I think I'm good at it in the sense that I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. You know what I mean?
That's
Mhm.
good.
If you're gonna pick up and play an instrument, I think if you succeed in that instrument, it means that you're like good with it. Like you enjoy playing it. Whereas if you succeed in different ways, it means you're making money.
Yeah, but I think that depends on what your definition of success is. So,
It
like,
does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
if Carl mentioned streaming, I have no aspirations of ever being a famous streamer or anything of the sort. Success would be having fun at it, getting better at it over and over, like becoming an entertaining streamer. If I were to stream on a consistent basis, I might develop a following, whatever. But I would consider myself successful if I could start the stream, entertain a couple, like even if it's just 3 people, if I could entertain them for a couple of hours, I would consider that a success.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's pretty
That's
sick.
accurate.
That's pretty sick. Because usually, okay, but what if someone told you, "Oh, my buddy is a successful streamer"? Would you
Yeah,
think?
but
Well,
it
good for
it
them.
depends on their definition of success, right? Like, for a successful streamer could be somebody like Ninja who streams to consistently thousands and thousands of people. He's successful financially, successful entertainment wise, but how he determines his level of success, I have no idea. It could be financially based. It could be the enjoyment thing. But it depends person to person what they consider to be success.
Fair. I would say for you, honestly, Charlie, I find you to be very entertaining. You have a way of, I don't want to say lightening the room, but kind of. Like usually you are very entertaining and kind of keep the mood light. You have a very, you're actually, I would say you have a talent at just kind of being entertaining. You're usually pretty fun to be around for the most part. Like it's, I don't know, man. I just think that you're a pretty entertaining fella.
You're gonna have to edit out me crying.
A single
Oh God,
tear.
no. Tears are necessary. That's the
No,
shit
no,
that
that's
sells
good.
episodes, but
No, I'm
Great for
flat.
the algorithm.
That's the nicest thing. Not only you've ever said to me, but probably not anyone's ever said to me. But it's a
to
very
be
nice thing to say.
thanks. I would say to be fair, not that hard. I usually don't have that much nice things to say to you, so breaking that crest isn't that difficult.
It's like such a loving podcast.
All those previous comments that said Carl's too mean to Charlie, just
Yeah.
scrap.
Oh, I'm cutting that out. Fuck that.
He's ready.
You gotta maintain it.
He's
I'll just
The
changed.
reputation to uphold.
yeah, exactly. What about you, Tyler?
Nice.
I just want to say before I go into mine, I was anticipating you guys both saying like jack of all trades because I think that is what everybody would consider their talent. Like, not many people go all in on one thing. And those people that do go all in on one thing generally end up being pretty damn good at it. Like, look at Mr. Beast as an example. Went all in on YouTube from the age of, 11 to however old he is now. The biggest YouTuber on the planet. Generally obsessing about something to the point of it consuming your life will make you successful in it, depending on, again, your level of what you determine to be success. For me, though, I think that my talent is learning. Like, no matter what the topic is, no matter if I am interested in it or whatever, like if I start learning about something, I will find something interesting in it. So I'm very good at learning things and learning new things relatively quickly. But just like you mentioned, once it gets to the point of those new thing, dopamine hits, stop hitting the same way, I normally put it down and move on to something else because it is substantially easier to like make those little steps as you're learning. Like, what's an example? Look at programming. You can learn to do a basic thing like Pong pretty easily, Frogger pretty easily. But when you start getting into warping from room to room or making a more top-down or an RPG game kind of thing, when it gets more difficult, those dopamine hits they're more spaced out. So like you have to really care about it in order to continue to invest your time between those hits, which not a lot of things have done for me historically through my life.
Makes sense. Now, to talk about like the dopamine hit kind of idea, is that because you're setting an expectation for yourself instead of like taking the small victories and being excited about them per se? Do you think you're looking for those big revelation moments that kind of only happen usually when you first start doing something? Because that's where you're more likely to be like to go from like Pong to like, holy shit, I just made this dude walk across the screen. Like, for example, right? I'm assuming that that's going to be so. Like, are you looking more for like the revolutionary big moments, and is that kind of why you feel that you kind of lose interest?
So, like, no matter what it is that I'm trying to learn, I generally break it down into smaller chunks. Learning something as a whole is overwhelming, and if you try to learn all of it at once, you will basically freak out and give up. So normally I try to break it down into, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this and then focus hard on that. And when I say focus hard, I mean like I tend to obsess over things. So we'll stick to programming as an example. you would learn how to make your character walk. Once your character walks, you move on to your next step. Okay, so now the character knows how to walk. I need to get the character out of this room. So you would learn things like warps and so on. But after a certain point, those small chunks, they just naturally get bigger and bigger and bigger because you already know how to do all of the small things. So you have to take all of the small things and put them together to make something big. And then doing that, you're repeating the same things that you already have learned over and over and over again to get to the big chunk, which just naturally means that the big chunk is spaced out more than the smaller chunks.
It's almost like you get a lot of dopamine hits when you're starting something because it's like, oh, you've only been doing that this long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you feel
after
like
you've been
you're
doing it a
accomplishing something.
while. Yeah, after you've been doing it a while, you haven't progressed that much. The dopamine hits become fewer and far between.
Yeah, you have to trick your brain into thinking that you are accomplishing something, which is why I said you have to break it down into small, manageable chunks. Like if you look at it like long form versus short form videos, 60-second YouTube short is going to give you dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. A 20-second TikTok is going to give you dopamine, 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 dopamine until 3 hours have passed and you don't even know what's happening. But you felt good about yourself while it was happening and you feel awful after. A long form YouTube video, not so much the case. Like it's like watching a movie. You get the occasional hit, or it's building to a hit. I feel like short form content is making our attention span. I don't think it's actually making our attention span shorter, but it is conditioning us to want those dopamine hits more and more frequently. It's like consuming sugar, honestly.
It's yeah.
Brain
It
sugar.
basically makes it so
Yeah,
that
brain sugar.
your brain craves immediate gratification. There's
hmm
no pathways to connect you regularly getting delayed gratification.
hmm
Delayed
I think
gratification, there's almost nothing for it. Like
I don't
if you're just
agree.
doom
I think that's
scrolling.
a personality thing and a training thing. What I
It's
mean by that
definitely
is like
conditioned.
it's conditioning. That's the word I was
Yeah.
looking. Is that our world is becoming that because that's what we see more now. I
Mhm.
do genuinely think that the overall sense of accomplishment, which also comes with the long haul to get to where you need to go, is more satisfying than having quick hits all the time.
An easier example than programming is building in Minecraft. So like you can focus on I'm going to build this wall, 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 and now I'm building the roof line, now I'm building the interior, now I have a house. Okay, now that I've got my house, I move on to the next house and next house, next house, next house until you've got a city. Now that you've got a city, you can build walls around the city. But eventually the scale just gets so large that okay, now I've got an entire nation to build, and you're not going to get that hit until you've previously you were getting hits, house, 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 house,
Now
city,
it's town
wall,
or city. Yeah.
town. Yeah, that town would be a good segue. Town. Now you're not getting a hit until you've got an entire nation, which means okay, you've got your city, but you need 15 more cities, and you gotta intermingle them and build roads, and so it's time. It's spacing it out.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I was going
that's
to make an
my
Attack on
perspective
Titan
on
joke when you started talking about walls.
You gotta build
Then the armored Titan
giant
So if
comes and
mouths open,
yeah, it's not
pulling
good, man.
people apart.
So good.
I like that idea of that dopamine hit though, because there's something to that. Because just with guitar, if
Mhm.
when I am learning something, I generally I don't know how to explain. I'm not really necessarily I'm sitting on a couch learning this song. Like I'm trying to play it in a like almost like envisioning myself around a campfire or
Mhm.
something, and people are listening, and they're like, "Oh wow, he knows how to play it." Like that's literally what I think when I'm like doing that.
Okay, so
But that
ta-
gives me the dopamine hit. That
if
makes
we're
it like
talking music, when you sit down to learn something, do you try to learn the entire song at once, or like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I will learn the intro. Okay, now I've got the intro down. Now I'm going to move on to the bridge or the chorus. Or
yeah,
music is not
you
my
do.
forte, so
You have to learn it in chunks. Yeah, you have to learn
yeah.
it in chunks. Sometimes like literal chunks, like chronologically, but then
Mhm.
other times it's like if it's like a classical song, like one of those Beethoven songs that it doesn't really like repeat exactly.
Mhm.
It really is like start and to finish. It's kind of different the whole way through for most classical music. So if
Yep.
it's that, yeah, it's chronological chunks. You have to learn it. But if it's like some other more popular song, then it's usually like there's this big structure.
Yeah, like one of the
You learn
four
the
chord
structure.
wonders. Once you've
Hmm.
got the
Yeah,
four chords, you're basically good to go, right? But
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
I always
Pretty
went by
much.
riffs. So I'd find out the hook or the riff in the song that I liked the most, and then that would give
mm,
me that dopamine kick to be like, oh, okay, yeah, now I know this, I have to know the rest. So
Yeah,
now I've
let's
got to
let's see
work
how
on
he
learning the
gets to
rest.
that part. Let's see how he gets
Yeah,
to that part.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Imagine throwing it in. Imagine that part I just learned, like throwing it in. Yeah. But I definitely it sounds crazy, but I like literally imagine myself playing it for someone else
mm,
and
Hmm,
them being like, "Whoa." Like I'm like it's like a literal fake scenario.
that's very
yeah,
odd.
whatever
Not
works.
It
odd,
is,
but
isn't
it's
it?
just, well, it's weird because it's like
I've never really thought about it.
whenever I play, like I never think about playing in front of people. Everything, maybe I'm just selfish. Most things that
So
I
what are you
do,
trying to
I'm
do
doing
though,
for
like
myself.
the end result? But the end result, what do you like? Is that like there's got to be something that you're working towards, and that's what like
Me,
your drive is. That's what you're trying to reach.
me.
So you want to be able to play it and like be happy with like how it sounds.
Yeah. And then if I play with people or in front of other people or whatever, and they also think that it's good, that's a bonus. But predominantly,
Bonus
most of the
dopamine.
things in my life, again, I'm also an only child, so that may have something to do with that. Most of the things I do in my life, I do, well, now that I'm married and have children and stuff, my perspective has changed quite a bit. But a good majority of like my leisure and hobby activities, I do for myself. I don't do them to be like, oh, hopefully someone will like the way I play this song, or I just kind of do it for me.
Mm,
Damn. It's like
maybe
breast
with
implants. Like I did me just for myself.
They're never for you.
they could be for you.
They're
I
to
would
well, hold on. I mean, I'll rephrase that.
I
If
would do
they're
them
for
for me if
you,
I was
it's
in that position.
well, you're doing them to have attention, so that makes it not for you anymore.
What if you want your own attention, Carl?
Not necessarily,
I
because
don't believe that in the slightest.
you could 100% get breast implants or like a nose job or something along those lines in order to be happy with your body. Like if you were ridiculed your entire life for having small boobs or a big nose,
Well, whoever's made
and
that's an asshole. But
um,
carry on.
it, whatever, if that was what you were
Yes,
self-conscious about for your body, then if you could spend that, I have no idea how much breast implants cost, 25 grand in order to
have
just
a good one, like the Cadillac of
problem solve.
titties.
Exactly. Problem solved, then yeah, like if you could
I think it's a
fix your
slippery slope.
self-image. Oh, I am not arguing that it is not a slippery slope at all. I am saying
I'm
that there
too.
are definitely
Hmm.
instances where it is not just for attention.
Well, but the thing of it is, though, is that, and you're right.
No,
I
but
do see
you
your
might just
point.
be doing it just to feel sexy.
Exactly.
But why are
That's
you?
what I mean with the body
But
image.
It's
again,
just like you just
but
want
why? But
some.
that's
You just
not.
want to feel sexy. Like you just want to feel like like feel it
But again, it's the same.
for
See, I'm
yourself.
a dude. I'm a very firm believer. It's the same. I hate. Like, I genuinely do not have interest in makeup. I think wearing high heels is fucking stupid to make your calves look better. I think the majority of the shit that we do, women especially, and men now especially, like moving forward, because you're seeing men doing it now too, where it's like, I think the concept that you do anything for because you feel that there's a societal pressure to look better, air quotes, than what you do naturally is a problem. I understand
Mhm.
people's want to do it, and I'm
Mhm.
perfectly, and you're entitled to your opinion, but I genuinely don't find it necessary.
No,
Because for
especially
me
not.
personally, well, no, but I mean, the imperfections in people are what make people unique, attractive, and interesting to look at.
Mhm.
If every single person was perfect asymmetry, every single dude had a six pack and was a perfect physical physique, whatever that idea is. Every single woman, there was three different types of women, or four different types of men, and we all fit a perfect cookie cutter exact thing. It would be boring as flipping hell. I don't
Mhm.
want
Like if
that.
everyone looked like us,
Well, the world would be a better
just the
place.
perfect.
Well, strikingly
Yeah.
handsome. We're the perfect body molds for all of it. But no, but all jokes aside, like no, but I hate it. So like that's the thing is like so as soon as people say like, and even your example, I'm not trying to discredit what you're saying, but even to your example, Tyler, of like you've been ridiculed your whole life, and
Mhm.
that will cause some mental issues for you and self confidence issues and everything else. But at the root of that, you're doing it for somebody else because they told you weren't good enough. Now you have to change it because you believed them after hearing it for so long.
Yeah, you have a complex that was developed in you because
Yes.
somebody else said that you don't fit a societal standard. 100%.
Exactly. Which no, but
But
that's the point that I'm making. Is
you can
that you're
pay to
not
fix
doing
that
it for
complex.
you,
I
but
get
it's
it.
not for you. You're doing it. Root cause of that issue is because you need to change because of what societal pressures have told you need to do.
Mhm.
Are we still talking about breast implants? What are we talking about?
We are still
We're
talking
all
about
talking
breast
about breast
implants.
implants.
Okay,
Mhm.
just making sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, I have a very, very strong opinion when it comes to that one. It bothers the living shit out of me.
Mhm.
Just the breast implants?
No,
What
all
about
of it. The
rhinoplasty?
cosmetics, all of it, dude. The fact, like like historically, that women have to go through this fucking insane regiment of like Victorian era. You got to wear corsets and literally crush your internal organs because that's what's attractive, or whatever. Like I
Mhm.
think it's flipping ridiculous.
I didn't know high heels were for making your
Still,
calves look better though. Because
Mhm.
I was in
yeah.
line today and there was someone, like an older couple, and the
Hmm.
woman had high heels on and she was still like really fucking short. Like really
Not
short.
about your height.
No,
I
yeah.
thought it was to make it look like if she didn't have those on, she would have
Mm,
looked like it would have looked like I don't know.
Let's just be a short person. Why
I
does it
mean,
matter?
height could be an added benefit to somebody, but yeah, the intention of high heels is 100% not primarily height.
I thought it
No,
was
that's
height.
like platform shoes for height.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
True. I didn't know that. I
At a
did not
very
know it was to make your calves look better. So what if
I had
you
a
wear high heels with pants? You're like wasting your
no,
hot
not
calves.
necessarily. It still gives you the sloping effect.
Yeah, it's still like it affects
Oh,
all the way up, right?
oh,
Mhm.
that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Your
Nice.
I
homework
had a
after this, Charlie, is to go put on some high heels and walk around the house and take a look at yourself in a full length mirror.
yeah, walk a mile in her
Uh,
shoes.
Yeah,
I
and
have
then
a couple
record
notes
it
there
for us
too.
to watch so we can laugh at you about it later.
Perfect YouTube short.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you can
Like
make
a
a Buffalo
horrible
Bill
one.
reference. Like you can tuck it back, be like, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me."
I'll get my
Fantastic.
chapstick.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
I'd fuck pretty hard.
Wow, you do that voice really well.
Oh, Charlie said it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again a couple of times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to say it like they say in Family Guy, one that replaced like my memory. Family Guy, they're like, it puts the lotion on its skin.
Oh,
That's the
Stewie.
one everybody
Stewie's
says.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stewie. Yeah.
But the real one is like, it puts lotion on its skin.
Yeah, that's
It's really
creepily
good
accurate.
and
Yeah.
very, very disturbing. Yeah,
Well practiced.
it is.
I'm not even, I never practiced it. I'm just,
So
Bullshit.
maybe it's,
I
We
call
found Charlie's
bullshit.
talent.
Yeah, it's being Buffalo Bill from Silence of the
Yeah.
Lambs. I envisioned in my mind, Charlie. I could just imagine you with a chapstick, just looking in the mirror doing it.
I wish I was good at impressions though. I wish I could do Donald Trump or like
Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
Now I have a question. if you could let's go with trade. If you could trade talents with anybody in the world, so basically nothing changes, like as far as the world goes. Like if you trade, we'll say skills with Zuckerberg, he's still got his billions. You don't, but you get that person's talent. Who would you trade with?
Do they know?
No.
Do they know? I know, but do they don't know?
So like they would.
But they get my talent?
Yeah. So like we would wake up tomorrow. We'll say you pick LeBron James. We would wake up tomorrow. You would be fantastic at basketball, and LeBron would be excellent at doing the Buffalo Bill voice.
Well, it's perfect time. It's the Olympics, so that would actually be excellent.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Is it just for
Just
a day,
steal
or is it forever?
steal Simone Biles' gymnastics talent. She
just
gets up on the thing.
flop. Just
that'd be good.
I'd almost make that choice just to watch it happen for nothing else, just for pure entertainment.
They just fucking they're running up. They're like, oh, fuck,
I don't know how to do this anymore.
like it doesn't make sense. I have memories of training. I know.
Yeah, just where did it go?
My whole life,
It's
it's all gone.
That's kind of the best part about them not knowing. Like they would full on just run up and start to flip and have no idea
No
what
clue where to go from there.
You would have no. I would just run right into like the beam. Just like, fucking right in my stomach, knock the wind out of myself. Just like,
be great. But back to the question. That's kind of a tough
just
one.
remember, you could ruin somebody's life with this decision.
You know what you could do? You could switch with like an old person who's already lived their life but still has the skill. Does that count if they're old?
100%. You can do that.
Because like, what if they can't do it anymore? Like, what about when Tony Hawk's 80? If I switch with Tony Hawk's 80-year-old self.
Well, to be fair, if you switch with Tony Hawk now,
you would get Tony Hawk's current skill level.
Yeah, that's the other problem, is the current skill level.
But okay, like in the case of like LeBron James, if I switch with him, I don't think I'd be very good at basketball, at least for like a couple weeks. But what I would get is like he would turn me into a good basketball player in like a couple weeks.
But like
just
you're
knowledge,
still
but
gonna
you have to like still get my body.
Yeah, you're still gonna be in your body. You'll still be 6-footish tall. You still have your natural cards you were dealt.
I jump.
Just take their talent. It might hurt when you land, yeah. Because you won't have the muscles. You'll just have the talent.
Shit. Can you come back to me? No? Is it me?
Yeah, no, we can go back. My other question is like, it's hard question to answer solely because most people's talents come from years and years of experience. So it's not really like I'm taking someone's natural abilities, air quotes. I'm taking their experiences.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It would be their talent, right? So like talent is
the accumulation of all of their experiences.
But it's also exactly an accumulation of all of their experiences. So like I personally don't think you are born talented. You are born with a specific set of cards, we'll say, that set you up for success and pave the way for you to be talented. But like, in order to be that talented, we'll go back to the Mr. Beast example. He is one of the most successful, if not the most successful YouTuber on the planet. He put in the work. He was not born the best YouTuber on the planet. He put in the work. Same with
there's something else about them that
Connor McDavid in hockey.
Yeah, exactly. Like
whatever.
You can name anybody that is at the top of their game, put in the work. But you're basically stealing everything or trading.
You're taking all the work.
All of the work that they've put in to get them to where they are at their current point. So you'll still have your body, but you will have their mindset. You will have all of their years of experience. You will have their muscle memory, like all of it.
So if I switch with LeBron James, I'm instantly a fucking sick basketball player.
With the limitations of your body.
With the limitations of your body. Yeah. You
And those
still
will get
might not
worked.
be able to
Those
jump
will get
very
fixed.
well, but you'll know what you need to do in order to jump as high, like as high as your body will possibly take you.
This is a lot of preamble.
I would like for my person that I am going to switch skills with.
Right. You're dragging your feet in the way you're answering.
To choose. I really don't know.
Do you want me to go first?
Can they be fictional?
No, they can't.
No,
be
they can't be fictional. What do you? Jesus Christ, we don't live in fucking Tolkien.
Okay, yeah, you guys go first.
Taylor Swift.
Because their names kind of sound like Tyler.
No, well, we do have actually. That's a good point.
Tyler Swift.
Her ability to entertain and
Mhm.
her musical talent, her singing ability, I will take all of those and trade her my ability to learn things quickly. I think that she's at a point where she's had enough success in life that she could ride it out for now. Like she wouldn't need to perform, and I'm pretty sure she's a billionaire at this point. I have no idea, so I'm not drastically impacting her life. Granted, it would probably change a little bit, so I feel a little bit better about myself making that decision. Music, I don't have the limitations of my body. Like I'm not going to be ridiculously sore. If I picked a football player, I'm still going to be the size I am. So it's not like I can be a linebacker or a quarterback without suffering some serious damage. Yeah.
Nice.
Basically. Why?
So you picked Tyler Swift.
Tyler Swift. Yeah. I will become Tyler Swift.
Excellent. I enjoy this answer very greatly. I think I would pick Scump. He's a retired professional Call of Duty player.
Nice.
He's still ridiculously good. Scumpy. He's been playing for years. He retired a couple of years ago. He played for Dallas Optic. But, because then for streaming and stuff, it would be very nice to be
The best.
one of the best players in the world. And again, nothing's going to change because it's already what I'm doing anyway.
Yeah,
I would just become overnight a fucking exactly. And again, he's already retired. He does commentary and stuff now, so it's not really. I mean, he does live stream and stuff, but again, I don't think he has to. But wouldn't really have much of a negative.
Factor.
Pardon me, sorry.
You also get the entertainment factor. Like he's not just fantastic at the game; he's also a good
Yeah,
entertainer.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good call. Good choice.
You know, I just realized who I want to pick.
Good.
I think I want to pick James Cameron.
Jenna Jameson. That is a fucking amazing choice. Not
James
Jenna
Cameron
Jameson, but James Cameron. That's an actually
great
amazing
choice.
pick.
Just because like he's made like sick fucking movies. Like sick fucking.
It's funny.
Avatar was really good in the theater. Titanic he fucking did. Terminator 2 is like,
there you go.
Yo. You know?
Yeah.
And he like invented that fucking submarine that like finally went to like the Marianas Trench. Like I swear I heard he invented it. Like that's
he worked with an engineer and stuff, but yes. Yep.
I like that shit. Like he's just like he's like a fucking he's the jack of all trades, but he actually like sees shit through in big scales.
But he's mastered them. He's the jack and the master.
Well, he's wildly profitable in one, enough to be really fucking effective in the other.
So like I feel like if you can get something that you are very, very good at, being extremely good at it generally allows you a lot of free time. So not necessarily free time, but like Brandon Sanderson is a fantastic writer. He can write a book a year, and his books are great as far as I'm concerned. He is a great author. Because of this, I feel like he has a work-life balance that allows him a little bit more free time than the average human being working 40 hours or 44 hours a week. Like he could wake up one day and decide, I don't feel like writing. I want to learn how to do this. So like James Cameron, as an example, can Like, okay, I don't have a movie that I'm working on right now. I don't have financial pressure because I have made so many excellent movies in the past. Let's learn how to build submarines. The average person can't do that.
That's Like he's like a modern day Da Vinci. He's
Kind
probably
of,
pretty good at painting.
kind of, kind of. Yeah.
He
But
can
like
think that
once you
paint
might
master
be.
really
one
well.
thing, I feel like you have more ability to move on to other things.
Well, that the
Yeah.
or not the problem, but that's the other thing is that like you put in the time and the energy
Mm.
to get to wherever it is. So whether it be, because again, for someone like James Cameron, again, I don't know him personally, so I have no idea. But I mean, his true passion in life could always have been exploring the depths of the ocean.
Mhm.
But then he got really good at directing movies, which now facilitates his ability to do his actual passion, which is potentially exploring the depths of the ocean.
I'm pretty sure his passion was 100% directing movies because I feel like I've heard a story about him like sneaking off of a tram or something like that in order to like break into the studio when he was a kid to get a quote unquote internship because he couldn't get into film school.
No,
But
that makes, well,
yeah,
fair enough.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
You might have
That's
to
back
fact
in the
check me on
day.
that. That I don't know if that's actually true or not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the back of a tour bus.
good for him. Well, it
Hmm.
worked out for the best.
Yeah, for sure. They could have just
That was back
arrested
when
him
all you needed to get a good job was a firm handshake. That's all you needed back.
and an ad in a newspaper.
Back when the newsman was a respected job.
I feel like that's kind of coming back though. Like there are certain industries where they will take your experience and your portfolio, more so creative industries than anything else, but like your portfolio and what you've worked on matters. I wouldn't say more, but just as much as if you have a university or a college degree.
Yeah, I can creative endeavors are definitely a way that are still like that. Yeah.
like even Google, SpaceX, like I feel like if you could prove to them that you can code like all of the people that went to school for it, they'd hire you.
Yeah,
I
they
might be,
wouldn't care. They wouldn't
I
matter.
feel like they're more concerned about your knowledge than the piece of paper, and that is refreshing to see that coming back, and I hope it continues that way. I don't think that it will.
I agree. That would be refreshing. So now, is there more or less intrinsic value in 8 seasons of Game of Thrones or 1 hour and a half long movie?
7.5 seasons of Game of
Okay,
Thrones.
I digress. My point. I knew I shouldn't have used that as an example. But what I'm saying though is that is Game of Thrones minus the end better than a well-crafted James Cameron movie? I know they don't sit in the same genre or whatever else, but I'm just using it again as a like it's very hard because one is 10 episodes at an hour a piece, so one's 700 hours and one's an hour and 20 minutes.
Mhm.
You know what I just realized? We've got like these days we've got TikTok like videos and like YouTube shorts, like really quick, like it seems like. But at the same time, the media we consume is longer. Like the shows we watch, you're right. Like it used to be movies. There was no series. Like there was sitcoms,
Well, there
but
was
there was no like
syndicated series, but
series.
it wasn't the same. Most of it
Not
was a
like
sitcom.
that now
Well, but the
everyone's watching.
difference, but
HBO, The
It's
Sopranos.
almost
yeah, The
like
Wire.
yeah.
Yeah.
When was those? In the 90s? Wasn't that
Hmm.
like really? I thought it was like after the year 2000.
Nah. But I do agree with you. TV shows on average are getting longer. Like it used to be. And maybe it's just I'm getting older and pay more attention to the longer TV shows. But like I do not remember as a kid watching an episode that was an hour and 8 minutes long.
That
Which
never happened on
that is
syndicated
definitely
TV.
that is definitely a thing now. Like TV used to be 42 minutes long. It was
So there was
42 minutes,
18
and then
minutes
there
of
was
commercial
18
breaks.
minutes of commercial breaks. Yeah,
Yep,
that was consistent
formula.
across the board.
Yep.
That is not the case anymore, especially with things like HBO. They're not formulaic like TV used to be.
Well, I think just
Mhm.
by and large, TV's production and storytelling has caught up to cinema.
Mm.
I would almost say in some ways
It
it's
has.
better.
You can tell a crazier story.
I don't like the fact that there are forced arcs in episodes of TV,
Hmm.
whereas like in a movie you can follow the character arc all the way through.
Yes.
Whereas like because of the way TV is set up and the way they want the viewers to experience it, they try not everything, but there is a lot of attempts at putting an arc or a character progression in an episode, and I don't think it works that way. They're trying to force it.
Mhm.
I prefer the limited series model where you get like 12 episodes and they're a lot longer, like 100 or an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. And there's 12 of them, so it's like 12. It's basically like watching a 12-hour
Like Shogun.
movie. Shogun is an excellent example. There's one I watched a couple of weeks ago. It was about radios during the war. It was fantastic, but I don't remember the name of it. But the character arc progressed throughout the series, not throughout the
Not throughout the
episodes,
episode.
and it was amazing. Like I
That's
feel
fair.
those like trying to force it episode per episode, and then they almost reset the character every episode so
Well,
that
you
there's
kind of
another
have
forced
to, because
arc.
otherwise,
Exactly. Otherwise,
After the first season, Walter White would have been the fucking super criminal of the fucking.
exactly. And I don't like that. So
That's fair. Although,
that is my qualm with current
mm,
media and why I was still veer towards movies. I do agree with you that TV is getting substantially better than it used to be. There are instances of TV getting substantially better. I also feel like we are relying too heavily on CG for a lot of things and need to go back to the way the original Star Wars series did it, where we don't care that our CG is awful, our story is fantastic. We can hold
100%.
ourselves on that. But yeah, that's my
I
rambling.
no, I couldn't agree more, man. I'm a very big. I would rather see, again, even in horror movies, like, so. For example, this isn't a surprise. Shouldn't be a surprise to either one of you, but like my favorite horror movie of all time is 1982's The Thing, the John
Mm,
Carpenter movie with Kurt Russell in
mm,
the Arctic Circle with the shape-shifting monster.
mhm,
That movie is amazing. The effects are all practical. Some of them are really good. Some of them, not so much. But it stands so much better. I'm using this movie also as a specific example because they did a remake slash reboot, whatever you want to call it, in the 2010s. I can't remember
mm.
exactly because I couldn't. It was disgusting. But everything is CG.
Yeah.
So, but now the cool thing with that, with the 82 version of The Thing, is that the monster never looked the same. It was always different. Everything happened different ways. It wasn't the CG. It was more formulaic. It was all teeth and fucking tentacles and whatever. So it always looked the same. So
Mhm.
it's like you lost that creative, even though it didn't. But even though if it may look better, but it doesn't have that weight, that presence on screen, that interaction between the characters. Like, I don't care how good an actor is. If they're talking to a fucking floating tennis ball, you can tell they're talking to a floating tennis ball.
Mm.
They're not making eye contact with the creature or the thing or whatever they're doing. Like, there's a massive difference. Like, CG is a powerful and amazing tool to remove the glare from my glasses, add in
Mhm.
background effects, make a 100 extras that are a zombie horde look like 1,000, like have a cityscape burning in the background, whatever. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's when it's good.
Mhm.
When CG is in your face, it takes away so much from the experience. It makes it so fake that it kind of it breaks the suspension of disbelief, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It acts like a crutch.
Yeah, like a
Mhm.
Michael Bay movie. What do we do now? Blow shit up! More
Yeah.
fireballs!
And
It
don't get me
works.
wrong. Sometimes I just want to watch a movie where they blow shit up.
Absolutely.
I just want to sit on the couch, turn my brain off, and watch things explode and people get
Hmm.
shot at.
Sit
But
Absolutely.
there and
if I
drool.
exactly if I want a cinematic experience though, it's not going to be a Michael Bay.
No, there's a time and a place for everything.
You know, in Alien, when the guy gets the
Chest bursts
first
out.
time alien. Yeah,
Mhm.
the actors in that, they didn't know that was gonna
Mm.
happen. So that's a legit reaction from all of them.
Yeah.
They didn't know that
But
was
that's
gonna
so.
happen.
But that's so in like. But that's the
In
kind of thing that you can't
shot.
do now.
Yeah, you can't do that with G. Exactly. Yeah. Like that would have been like if you were like, okay, and now their reaction would have been like less believable because the reaction that they've got is real.
Is genuine. It's like, what the heck is actually happening?
Actual kind of a little bit of shock there, yeah.
Let's do a top 3 this week.
Yeah,
So
because
we
I
were
don't have
talking.
5 of anything.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I don't have 5 of anything.
Please subscribe.
Okay, we need it. Charlie needs to have 5 of anything.
Yeah. We were talking about talent. Pick your 3 most talented people that you would like to spend a day with. They have to be alive.
Don't
Charlie,
everybody
you went
jump at once.
last time, so you have to go first this time.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson? No, the other guy, Brian Cox.
Yeah.
So I would pick Brian Cox, the physicist guy, just to talk about aliens and stuff with them. Elon Musk, you know, the billionaire guy. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I think I know
Yeah, I
who
think we
Elon
know
Musk
who he is.
To kind of talk about like aliens and stuff with him too. Go camping and stuff. And number 3 would be maybe like a politician,
Which one?
like George Bush or something. I don't know.
Senior is Senior still alive?
Don't
I just
think
like
so.
any president, anyone who has been president. I
Bill
literally
Clinton.
don't. I don't even want
Bill
to.
Clinton.
Maybe Bill Clinton, George Bush. I think I'll leave it at that. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't wanna get political, but I would literally like just to like talk about aliens and shit.
With the
So
with the
With the
president as well.
president.
with the president, yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So like every
They're
single
with you
person
for
you
the whole
pick
day. They're down
For
to
aliens.
to
say
spend the
something.
day talking about aliens.
Maybe I should pick Donald Trump because he would tell me.
Carl, your turn.
Not in any particular order, but I would want to spend a day with Hideo Kojima, the game developer, the mastermind behind Metal Gear. I think I would also want to spend the day number 2 with Steve Rinella, the meat eater guy, because I do enjoy hunting outdoorsings, and it's a pretty good excuse to go do some crab fishing and shoot a bear in Alaska, or whatever other crazy thing would be doing. And then number 3 would be the baseball pitcher, Trevor Bauer. He's arguably probably one of the best pitchers in the entire planet. And yeah, the guy does a bunch of YouTube content. He pitches professionally, and he'd just be a pretty interesting fellow, I think, to spend a day with.
Cool. Good list. I'm
And
still
just-
loving the fact that Charlie's are all aliens.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to diversify my portfolio here, and Charlie just wants to know about aliens.
They would all talk about it. What are your 3 then, Tyler?
Number 1 would be Tyler Joseph, who is half of 21 Pilots. He is fantastic at all things musical. I would actually argue he's probably the most talented musical person on the planet. So that'd be cool. Number 2, I would probably pick Donald Glover, also into music, but also an actor, a writer, producer. So I would like to pick his brain on his creative process. And then number 3 would be, we talked about him earlier, Mr. Beast, because he found what he was passionate about at a very young age and went hard for it. So I would like to see how his mind works.
Very good.
Those are pretty good decisions.
What's up, alien boy?
Carl's are very well rounded. Like he's got 3 completely different people. Mine are like all people that are obsessed over their one specific thing. And Charlie is trying to gain secrets about the universe.
Talk about aliens.
Gain secrets about
Not
aliens.
even necessarily gain secrets. Even if I like say I meet Barack Obama and I'm like, yo, is there aliens? And let's say I know he's not lying. And he's like, no. I would still talk to him about aliens and shit. I think he's that type of person. He would be down to talk about.
If we could have anybody on the podcast that would talk about aliens
Ooh.
with you, who would it be?
Maybe Bob Lazar, the guy that actually
Yes.
claims he worked for Area 51. He would not come on here.
Is he a
but it would be-
whistleblower? Yeah. I
Yeah,
have
he
no
kinda
idea who
is.
that is. So
Oh, really?
I'd have to like.
yeah, no.
He's the first guy. He was like he's the reason people like know about Area 51.
Oh, okay.
Like he worked there, and then he predicted stuff, and it happened, and yeah, he claims that he worked on a part of like a downed UFO from an archaeological dig that was like I can't remember, like millions of years old.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
He
look
would
him
be
working on it.
interesting.
And they departmentalized everything. Anyways, the story was really believable, but there was shit about questionable. But I still love his story. Like, I'm not sure if I believe him or whatever, but I like the story. It's cool. He would
Sounds like a
then
good
go.
guy to have a conversation with.
I like him because he would
Mhm.
talk about aliens and shit.
I feel it's a fucking prerequisite for you.
No, it's just like a huge bonus.